If you love me, please don't judge me. Got my hands tied, the power's above me. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just a puppet here. If you wanna place blame, then look to the puppeteer. Family, fortune, envy, jealousy, privilege, passed on, legacy, secret, sabotage, borderline, felony, suicide, subtract, selfish, pedigree, yeah.
How's it going, everybody? It's C-RadTV, and we're finally at the last chase grid prediction vid we're gonna do this year, because we already did the trucks chase grid prediction, we did the cup chase grid prediction, and now we finally hit the Xfinity chase grid prediction. So, of course, Xfinity chase, yeah, because the NASCAR chase schedules are completely fucked up. Like, the truck chase is starting out the round of 8 next week. Cup Series is started around a 12 this week, and the Xfinity Chase finally starts this week. So, like I've done for Trucks and then Cup, we're going to do a Chase Grid predictions for Xfinity, and we're going to see who I think will go deep, who will be eliminated, and sent back into Elimination Station, and who will make the Final Four to battle for this year's Xfinity Championship. So, of course, 12 drivers enter. Only one will be the 2021 Xfinity Champion. Who will it be this year? So yeah, how about we go ahead, let's meet this year's chase field, and let's see how they all stack up this year. So of course, here are the 12 drivers that will be battling for this year's Xfinity Series Championship on the screen here. We'll go over all 12 of them, and I'll give you my thoughts right on them. So how about we start this off with Austin Sindrick. The reigning, defending Xfinity Series Champion is back to defend his crown. And really this year for Sindrick, really this entire year, Sindrick picked back up where he left off last year when he won the title. Because Sindrick's been flat out dominant all season. Even though really the later part of the regular season, AJ Allmendinger has caught up to Sindrick, and the competition slowly caught up to Sindrick. But make no mistake about it, Sindrick is the favorite to still win the title this year, and more than likely the favorite to go back-to-back. Question is, can Sindrick go back-to-back, or is only one title good enough for him? Especially with Sindrick being in a lame duck situation, with Sindrick going up the Cup next year to take the 2 car for Brad Keselowski. And there's a good chance with Sindrick going to Cup next year, Sindrick probably is going to win a race and make the Xfinity chase more than likely. The Cup chase next year more than likely. Depending on what happens on the road courses. So yeah, there's a good chance Sindrick probably could win, more likely could win Rookie of the Year next year. So yeah, anyway, continuing on. Next up, we got AJ Allmendinger. Like, AJ Allmendinger, man, who knew AJ was actually this damn good? Especially on ovals, like, AJ Allmendinger's been able to win on them all. Like, he has 4 wins this year, won Vegas, then he won Mid-Ohio, then he won Michigan. And, of course, the thrower at Bristol with him and Sindrick spinning across the start-finishing line. And AJ winning and crashing after winning the race. So, yeah, AJ Allmendinger, of course, he's also the regular season champion. So, he got those free 15 bonus points for the Xfinity Chase, edging out Sindrick by a few points. It was a very close regular season championship battle. So, yeah, AJ Allmendinger having a solid year. I mean, I think really, realistically, the championship is between Sindrick and Allmendinger. But, yeah, could Allmendinger spoil Sindrick's going away? And could AJ finally win an Xfinity title? Like we all know, like, hell, even AJ won a Cup race this year at Indianapolis, which was okay. So, yeah, Allmendinger. Can the Daner win the Xfinity title, or will he fall short? We'll have to see. Next up, we have Justin Allgeier. It seems like Allgeier's having another repeat of last year, but this time, Allgeier's not the hottest driver entering the Xfinity Chase this year. But Allgeier still one of the top dogs at Junior Motorsports. Like Allmendinger, Allgeier's had, I believe 2 wins this year. He won Atlanta earlier this year, and then he won Darlington, the throwback Darlington race. So, yeah, Allgeier's still going to be one of the top drivers to beat this year. Now for Allgeier, Does Allgeier finally win that Xfinity championship that has eluded him? Or will bad luck continue to strike Allgeier in the back? Or is Allgeier just not good enough under this format to win a title? We'll have to see. One thing's for certain, time is definitely running out for Allgeier. Like, does Allgeier finally win the title? Or is Allgeier destined to be Elliott Sadler 2.0 and will always fall short? Next up on the list, we got Noah Gregson. Like, Noah Gregson's had a few good couple weeks to really build momentum. You know, Gregson, of course, he's easily the hottest driver entering the Xfinity chase this year by winning 2 of the last 3 races. So, really, for Gregson, he has all the momentum entering the Xfinity chase with that kind of hot streak. You know, he won Darlington, and then he won Richmond to go back-to-back. So yeah, I think Gregson could be a sleeper pick for the championship. I know Gregson had his struggles early in the year, but the second half of the year, Gregson's really turned it up. And I think Gregson's going to be hard to beat in the Xfinity chase. Like, I wouldn't sleep on Gregson. I think he goes a lot deeper than some people may think. Especially with all the momentum Gregson has entering the chase. Like, and you definitely want to have momentum if you want to compete for the title this year. So yeah, can Gregson finally step up and win the Xfinity Championship? Or will Gregson fall short again? We'll have to see. Next up, we have Justin Haley. Like, Justin Haley, well, it seems like Justin Haley is only a super speedway rainer. Because I thought Haley would be good on other tracks. But really, Haley's had a bit of an off year. I mean, Haley did get a win at Daytona in August, but other than that, Haley's really been off his game. Like, I'm not sure what it is with Haley, but Haley's just been kind of slow. So yeah, that's kind of weird how Justin Haley's really had an off year. I thought Haley was going to have a really solid year after the year he had last year and build off it, but really this year Haley's just taking a step back. But of course, Haley, of course, in a lame duck situation because Haley's going up the Cup next year to drive the 16 for Colleague, with Colleague going up the Cup. So, Haley's going to be part of the Rookie of the Year battle. Actually, I'm not sure if Haley would be part of the Rookie of the Year battle because he's ran close to, like, I believe almost 20 races this year in Xfinity and Cup this year. So I think Haley might be excluded from the Rookie of the Year battle next year. You know, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Maybe Bob Pockris, good old Bobby P, can give us an update on that sometime in the offseason. But yeah. So yeah, Haley, look for maybe the super speedway rainer, but I mean, last year we had Haley as a dark horse pick for the Xfinity Championship, and he made it all the way to the Final Four. Does Haley do it again 2 years in a row, or is Haley just gonna take a step back after last year? We'll have to see. Next up on the list, we got Daniel Hamrick. One thing we know for sure: if your initials are DH, you can have no good stains. Because Hamrick, like, what's it going to take for Hamrick to win a race this year? Like, literally, Hamrick has come close so many goddamn times and has always fallen short every time, whether it be just bad luck, the Hamrick's team shooting themselves in the foot, Hamrick making a mistake, or some other bullshit. Like, Hamrick just cannot seem to finally figure out how to finish the deal or seal it. But Hamrick, despite that, he's been very consistent, though. But, of course, Hamrick's going to be more... But Hamrick's, of course, is rumored to be going to the 20-car JGR next year, since Ty Gibbs is coming up to Xfinity next year to drive the 18. So, yeah. And so yeah, I think if Hamrick wants to win a race, his best chance is in the chase this year, because there's a good chance he may not win it, especially if Ty Gibbs torches the earth in Xfinity this next year, like he did in ARCA. So yeah, all I say for Hamrick is if he wants to win a race, time's running out, so he better hurry up. Next up, we got Jeb Burton. So Jeb Burton, he won a race this year, a rain-shortened race at Talladega this year. Okay, then again, that's honestly kind of not surprising since Dega's a bit of a crapshoot. So, yeah, but really the Colleague car, and it's not really surprising since the Colleague cars have been absolute beasts on the super speedways. It's kind of like DEI in the early 2000s in Cup, when DEI absolutely destroyed the field on the super speedways. So yeah, Jeb Burton, he had that win, but other than that, he's been very quiet. Like, he's had top 10 runs most of the races, maybe top 15, but he gets top 5s occasionally, but really other than that, not a whole lot, other than his win at Talladega. So hey, there's a plus for Jeb Burton. My expectations for Jeb Burton, let's be real for Jeb Burton. Out of all 3 colleague cars, Jeb Burton is easily the slowest by a country mile. So I think expectations for Jeb Burton are pretty low here. Next up, we got the other Burton, Jeb's cousin Harrison. So Harrison Burton, he had a really solid rookie year last year. And let's be real about Harrison's season with all the struggles he's had. It's safe to say Harrison Burton has become a victim of the sophomore slump. And yes, folks, for anyone wondering, yes, the sophomore slump is a real thing. It happens to some people. It happens, man. Well, again, I think Harrison Burton has suffered a sophomore slump. But despite the sophomore slump, Harrison Burton is still getting a cup ride next year with the Wood brothers in the 21 to replace Matt DiBenedetto. So that's kind of an interesting one. So Harrison Burton will be leaving the Toyota order to join the Star Fords. So that's kind of a gamble there. So yeah, that's going to be interesting for sure to see how Harrison Burton does. So it looks like next year's Rookie of the Year battle is going to be Sindrick versus Harrison Burton for the most part. Maybe Justin Haley if Haley's eligible for Rookie of the Year or not. We'll have to, Haley's a wait and see one. But yeah, Harrison Burton. Can Harrison Burton snap out of it and maybe win a race in this chase? Or will Harrison just once again struggle like he did last year in the chase? And it's kind of... So yeah, we'll see how Harrison Burton does. Next up, we got Myatt Snyder. Let's be real. I don't think anyone has many expectations for Myatt Snyder. I mean, Myatt did win Homestead earlier this year out of nowhere, which was random. But let's be real. Snyder's Homestead win was kind of a fluke. Like, Snyder mainly only won that race because Noah Gregson got taken out by a lab car who blew a tire and right in front of Gregson, giving Gregson no time to react there. So yeah, and it's obvious that win was pretty much a fluke for Snyder because what has Myatt Snyder done since then? Absolutely nothing. He has done nothing. Hell, if Myatt Snyder didn't have that win, he would not even come close to making the chase. So yeah, I mean, though, every year in Xfinity Cup and trucks, there's always the one driver in every series that has no business being in the chase, but makes it in off a fluke win. I think Xfinity, that honor goes to Myatt Snyder. Like, Snyder has just not been there. The good news is for RCR is RCR may have now a driver worth a damn next year when Sheldon Creed comes over. Probably to drive the 21 car. So yeah, at least Richard Childress can put all his eggs into the Sheldon Creed basket and let Myatt Snyder just be Snyder. So anyway, next up we got Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones, he had a solid year last year. And this year, Jones is really taking a step back. Like, Jones has just flat out struggled. Like Brandon Jones has just looked pretty bad. It's pretty much looking like his early JGR days and his early RCR days. Like, Jones has just flat out struggled. Like, it's not the same. Jones is not the same driver he was last year when he was competing up front. I don't know, maybe Brandon Jones gets hot at the right time and goes deep in the chase. We'll have to see. Because Jones has had some good runs, but just can't be consistent. He's been very inconsistent this year. So, yeah. There's Jones. So, yeah. Not expecting too much out of Jones. Next up, we got Terrible Herps. Oh, my fucking God. Terrible Herps is like a fucking cockroach. He just won't die. Why? Just why? So, Terrible Herps. he goes in the 98 car for SHR this year. The 98 car that won 9 races with Chase Briscoe last year and competed for the championship. And what has Terrible Herbst done in that car? Absolutely nothing. Hell, let's be real. Terrible Herbst has no business even being in this chase. The only reason Terrible Herbst is in the chase is because Michael Annett suffered a leg injury late in the season and missed like 4 or 5 races. And Terrible Herbst did the bare minimum to not fuck it all up. Because if Michael Annett didn't miss those races and stayed healthy, Michael Annett would still be in it, would be in the Xfinity chase and not Snyder. I mean, not Snyder. I mean, fuck. Terrible Herbst. Y'all get what I mean. Like, Herbst has no business being in. Like, Michael Annett injury just let Terrible Herbst drunkenly stumble into the chase. And that might be the worst thing for SHR fans, because that's going to trick SHR to keep Terrible Herbst around. Hell, that might trick him at some point in the future to maybe have Terrible Herbst replace, Eric Almirola at some point in the future, depending on what happens with the 10 car within the coming years. So yeah, expectations for Herbst are really low. Like, let's be real, Herbst is going to do nothing in the Xfinity chase. And then the final driver we're going to talk about is Jeremy Clements. So Clements is back in the chase for the first time since 2017. I believe 2017. So yeah, and Clements makes it in on points this time. So yeah, we have a Crapmobile team making it in on the Xfinity chase. Because the competition is still as diluted as my piss. Let's be real. Jeremy Clements, as great as making the chases for that team, he has no chance in hell at winning. Unless he wins like fucking Talladega or some shit. Clements stands no chance in the Xfinity chase. Like, do we really have to pretend Clements actually has a legit shot? It's kind of like McDowell in the Cup Series this year. Do we literally have to pretend? Or can we just be realistic here? So anyway, that is the set 12-man Xfinity chase. So, round of 12, we have Las Vegas, Talladega, and the Charlotte Roval. So, who do I have moving on to the round of 8? Let's see. So, right here's my round of 8 predictions right here. So, my race winners, I got them in purple, since earlier today, the Xfinity Series unveiled their new logo, and it's going to be a purple outline instead of a red one. So, I decided in honor of the new Xfinity logo, let's just highlight the race winners in purple, because why the fuck not? And I actually don't mind that logo, to be honest, so. I know fans are gonna fucking complain about it because that's NASCAR fans. They fucking complain about literally anything because they just want to find a fucking excuse to complain because most fans are fucking miserable and can't have good lives. You know, you can't fix stupid at the end of the day. But anyway, back on topic because that's a rant for another day. So back on the Xfinity Chase Grid, let's go over my round of 8 predictions. So, Las Vegas, I'm gonna shock some people and I'm gonna say Noah Gregson. Because Gregson's has had really good runs on the 1.5 miles. So I think it's shocking Gregson hasn't won a 1.5 mile race yet. He should have won Homestead earlier this year, and then a lab car blowing a tire right in front of him happened. And honestly, he should have won Texas last year, and then he blew it in the last turn to Harrison Burton. So yeah, I think Gregson's come close on 1.5 miles a couple times, but falling short, or some bad luck happened. I think this time Gregson finally seals the deal. I think Gregson will show that he should not be slept on in the Xfinity chase. So I got Gregson winning Vegas. Talladaga's a fucking crapshoot. Like, anything can literally happen at Dega. So for Talladega, I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to go Justin Haley to win Talladega, because Haley's easily the safest pick, because he's an absolute demigod on super speedways. And in the Charlotte Roval, this was a tough one to decide between Sindrick and Allmendinger. I know Allmendinger's won that race the last 2 years in a row. But in terms of AJ and Sindrick on the road courses this year, AJ's been better than Sindrick on the actual road courses like Mid-Ohio, Dakota, the Mid-Ohio's, Dakotas, the Watkins Glens, the Road Americas. However, Austin Sindrick has been better than AJ Allmendinger on the Rovals, like the Daytona Roval and the Indianapolis Roval. Hell, Sindrick even won the Indy Roval. So I think this time, Sindrick finally wins the Charlotte Roval. I think Sindrick's better than AJ on the Rovals, but AJ's better on the road courses. So I got the Roval going to Sindrick. And then I got Allmendinger, Allgeier, Harrison Burton, Daniel Hamrick, and Brandon Jones making on points. So the 4 drivers I have out in round 1 are Jeremy Clements, Terrible Hertz, Myatt Snyder, and Jeb Burton. Jeremy Clements, let's be real. Clements is a shitmobile team, so being fucked is all but a given. Terrible Hertz, he has no business being in the Xfinity chase, and in round 1, we're going to see he's exactly who we thought he was. A fraud. Myatt Snyder, he really has done nothing. Like, the only reason Snyder's in the Xfinity chase is because of his win at Homestead, his fluke win at Homestead. Without that win, Snyder wouldn't even be in the chase. So, yeah, I have Snyder out in round 1. And Jeb Burton, I feel like Jeb Burton is just the odd man out here. I feel like the 8 drivers I have in the round of 8 have a better shot at winning the title this year than Jeb Burton. Like, it was between Jeb Burton or Brandon Jones for that last spot. But I feel like Brandon Jones has a better chance than Jeb Burton. So I got Jeb Burton out in the first round. So there's my round of 8 right there. Now, round of 8, we got Texas, Kansas, and Martinsville. The question is, who do I have making the Xfinity Final 4? Which 4 am I jinxing this year? Let's find out. So here's my Xfinity Final 4 right here on the screen, so I'll go over them. So, Texas, I'm going to say Austin Sindrick because Sindrick's been really good at Texas, so I got Sindrick winning Texas. Kansas, I'm not 100%. I was originally going to go Ty Gibbs for this, but I'm not sure if Ty Gibbs is going to be in that race or not. I know the ARCA season finale is that same weekend, so he might be, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm just going to go ahead and play it safe and say Allmendinger wins Kansas. And then Martinsville, I'm going to say Noah Gregson wins Martinsville to get into the Final 4. I think Gregson makes the Final 4 this year. Like I said, I wouldn't sleep on Gregson. I think he's going a lot deeper than some people may think. See, plus Gregson ran damn well at Martinsville earlier in the spring, finished second to Josh Berry. Yeah. Also, Gregson's been really good on the short tracks this year, so I feel like Gregson can get it done. And I got Justin Allgeier making the Final 4 on points. So the 4 drivers I have out are Brandon Jones, Daniel Hamrick, Harrison Burton, and Justin Haley. Brandon Jones, he's just been off his game this year. I think Jones is just going to be out. Justin Haley, Haley's really just taken a step back this year. I think for Haley, after having a breakout year last year, I think Haley takes a step back and he's going to be more prepared for the Cup Series next year. Harrison Burton, I think it's going to be a combination of the sophomore slump catches up to Harrison Burton. Plus, I think Harrison Burton's going to put him... And I think Harrison's going to put more preparation in the Cup Series next year to drive the 21. So I think Harrison's out there. And then Daniel Hamrick, it was close between Hamrick or Allgeier, but I feel like Hamrick's going to put himself in a hole at either Texas or Kansas. That's going to put him in a must-win scenario at Martinsville, and I think Hamrick falls short. So there's my Final 4 this year. Austin Sindrick, AJ Allmendinger, Noah Gregson, and Justin Allgeier. I think these 4 can put on the best show at Phoenix. So now the question is, out of these 4, who will be the 2021 Xfinity Series champion? So in terms of the season finale at Phoenix, we all know Noah Gregson. Well, I feel like Noah Gregson can do it. A small part of me wants Noah Gregson to win the championship, just so I can see fucking NASCAR Twitter having an absolute meltdown over it, along with Kamikaze Games and Trash Maniac 99 have an absolute meltdown over it. If Gregson wins, there will be enough salt produced from NASCAR social media that could last us 100 lifetimes. The salt would be glorious. Plus, I like chaos, but I feel like Gregson's just not ready for it yet. Justin Allgeier, I think Allgeier, even though he's damn good at Phoenix, I feel like Allgeier once again gets screwed over by bad luck at Phoenix because that's just the Allgeier way. So yeah, I feel like this championship's between Sindrick and Allmendinger. And by the way, I should mention that for my picks, I don't have the champion winning the season finale at Phoenix. So yeah, for one of my predictions, I'm going to be bold here and I'm going to say the 2021 Xfinity Series champion does not win the season finale at Phoenix. For the season finale at Phoenix, I have that race going to Ty Gibbs. Because Ty Gibbs is supposed to be in the 54 car that week for the finale. So I got Ty Gibbs in that car. Plus, I've heard more than likely that Ty Gibbs, plus more than likely the 54 is going to be in the battle for the Owners' Championship. So it makes sense to throw Ty Gibbs in there so that we get a preview of how bad Ty Gibbs is going to torch the earth next year in Xfinity like he did in ARCA this year. So yeah, I think the champion ends up finishing second. And Allmendinger versus Sindrick. Okay, let's not beat around the bush. We all know who's winning the title this year. Show the picture on the screen. Yeah. Allmendinger's going to put up a good fight, but he's going to fall short. I got Austin Sindrick going back-to-back. So yeah, my pick's Sindrick to win his second Xfinity championship. So yeah, I got Sindrick going back-to-back this year. But yeah, those are my Xfinity Chase Grid predictions. That's all I got to say. See you on whatever I make next. Peace. Now watch half of this be wrong after round 1 because that's my luck.